What's going on, everybody? Coming to you live from Los Angeles. I hope you guys are all doing great out there. And tonight, on my end, that is in LA, Los Angeles, I am bringing to you a video of our last UFC fight. That was actually on ABC, and that was between Max Holloway against Calvin Kattar. And then the co-main was obviously Carlos Condit against Matt Brown. So um yeah, I mean if you guys were watching those fights, then yeah, you know that it was definitely an exciting night. Considering we hadn't had any events since December, and then the first 2 weeks of January had been nothing. So yeah, glad we're back into action. Um, yeah. Saturday certainly showed what we missed. Whenever we went on break for the most part, right? So glad to get the excitement back, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and break it down a bit as to what happened. Max Holloway, Calvin Kattar. Oh man, first of all, I just want to say hats off to Calvin Kattar for showing up to a beast of an opponent, Max Holloway, who did not disappoint fans and proved the question of whether or not he had lost it or not, and whether or not Max himself was gonna go down the rankings by continuing to lose, or if Max himself was gonna try to get a win back, considering the loss with Volkanovski the second time, even though many people thought that he actually won that one. So we'll definitely have to wait and see who Max is gonna fight next. But after this performance, just like Dana White said, I don't think that Volkanovski can discount the fact that Max deserves another shot at the title. So yeah, I mean that was definitely classic Max. I'm really glad to see him back because we really need people like him in the sport, to continue to keep it exciting and, um, create more competition in itself altogether. So I'm glad to see Max back with a win. And I certainly look forward to seeing as to who he's gonna fight next and how he's gonna perform. Because man, oh man, the way he performed yesterday, the 16th, let me tell you, that was stunning. I mean, that was, like I said, a classic Max. So classic Max is, when he gets up all in your face and puts up a war and he just, puts his hands up and goes like, hey, what's up? Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So that's definitely classic Max, and he definitely brought that over to Calvin Kattar, and yeah. Classic Max is the one that's always talking and fighting at the same time. So, for those of you guys who've been sticking around long enough, know exactly what I'm talking about. So, yeah, really happy to see him back. And as for Calvin Kattar, I mean, hey, Calvin was up against, he was up against the War Machine. So, the fact that he showed up, I mean, he's still 22-5. So, really, if he gets like 2 wins back, he'll probably be right back in the, championship category. So, in terms of getting the actual, thing chance to get a shot at the belt. So yeah, we'll have to definitely wait until the next featherweight fight that is right below them. But up until then we have to wait, right? So the co-main event for yesterday, Saturday the 16th, was Carlos Condit against Max Brown. So if you guys saw this, I mean, I personally thought that the scoring was a little bit odd. I actually thought that Matt Brown won the first one. Carlos Condit Carlos Condit won the second one. And the third one was really questionable. I mean, Matt Brown was on top of Carlos Condit for most of the time, but I mean, let me say something. I actually went ahead and made a bet on this fight, and I actually put up like a good amount, a solid amount on Carlos Condit to win, and I got the victory. So I got what I placed my bet on back, including the win amount. So um yeah, I just wanted to mention that, but I mean, like, again, I mean, looking at this from a very, realistic perspective, I mean, I really thought that that was a really close fight because, I mean, the first round, I mean, all three, I mean, yeah, I mean, I definitely can say that Condit probably did most of the damage in the first round. Well, maybe not entirely, but I mean, he was on his back, whereas Matt Brown was on top of him in the first round. Second round, everybody, 10-9, Carlos Condit won. The third round is certainly questionable because Matt Brown was on top of Carlos Condit for, a majority of the time in the third round. So, that one could have gone either way, but again, Condit did a majority of the damage in the third round as well. So, it all really depends on how you look at it. But yeah, I personally thought that Condit won the second round and Matt Brown won the first round, and I think that Condit won the third round by like such a small amount. Like, they could have gone either way. But yeah, but to see all three judges score it 27 in favor of Condit, then yeah, that is I mean, yeah, that is certainly a tad bit weird if you ask me, but yeah, you know, had that fight been on the feet most of the time, let me tell you something. I think Carlos Condit would have ended it. So yeah, it was kind of similar to what I said regarding the Max Holloway fight against Calvin Kattar. Like I said, if the fight is to go to 5 rounds, if it is going to be a decision result, then I believe that Max Holloway would win, and I think that he would win decisively, and that's exactly what happened yesterday, Saturday. So I mean, similarly with Carlos Condit, I mean, had this fight been on the feet a majority of the time rather than the ground, let me tell you, Condit would have definitely, picked up, what am I saying, picked up, picked Matt Brown apart, and I think that he would have caused more damage than what Matt Brown would have been able to inflict on Carlos Condit. So, I mean, again, it will have to, wait and see as to what's next for Carlos because I believe this is his second win, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go ahead and check that out really quickly. If I can, let me see here. I'm gonna try to pull it up real quick. Let's see here. I got it right here. So, just to go ahead and confirm that, yeah, this was his second win in a row. That is his previous win prior to Matt Brown was Court McGee, and that was also a decision. And both of them were actually in Abu Dhabi. So nice to see Carlos Condit stay active recently because it looks like he's hungry again. Because let me say something, it's exactly one of the things that inspired me to go ahead and place a bet on him to win against Matt Brown, and that was the fact that he seemed very hungry to me. in the pre conferences, prior to the fight. So, whenever he was being asked questions, yeah, he certainly seemed very hungry to me to show up and dedicate himself to a victory, and you know that's certainly what it seemed like, because even when he was on the ground, and when Matt Brown was on top of him, he was still dropping elbows, throwing punches, to the side, to the head. So you know, nice to see Condit, be in it, for another run at the belt, as it's what it's ultimately seeming like. So good for him. And then yeah, going back to Holloway against Cater. I mean, Calvin Cater is definitely up there, and as for Max, just like Dean said again, I mean, how can you discount the fact that Max should fight Volkanovski again for the featherweight belt, but right now Volkanovski has his hands full with Brian Ortega, so we'll have to see who wins that fight, because I mean, Brian Ortega is super good. Brian Ortega is a really really good fighter, and I think that um I think that Ortega definitely has a very very good chance of beating Volkanovski, because Ortega is, I'm telling you guys, Ortega is really really that good. So I mean, I still haven't really, I still haven't done the in depth research as to who I believe is gonna win, and whether or not I've went ahead to make an attempt to find out as to who I think will win between Ortega and Volkanovski. But that's certainly for another video when I do so. So yeah, but yeah, that fight is gonna be a war. I mean, I do not think that that fight will go to a decision. Something tells me that it's either gonna be like a lame stoppage, which is not likely, but for some reason I just get a feeling that someone's gonna knock someone down really hard, and then one of the fighters is just gonna go like, "Oh no, that should not have been stopped." But I mean, the ref is always on the side of safety, and whether or not a fighter is actually out. So yeah, we'll have to definitely wait and see for that fight to go down. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be something that I'll definitely be on my feet up for as I watch the fight. So um yeah, Ortega Volkanovski, in terms of what do you call it? In terms of deciding as to who Max is gonna fight next. But as for now, yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see for this fight between Volkanovski and Ortega to go down, because Volkanovski is actually really good. Um, Volkanovski, in my opinion, has a lot of what do you call it? He has a lot of volume, believe it or not. I don't know how I can describe that. In terms of I don't really know how to describe that in terms of the way he fights, but yeah, I mean, Volkanovski is really good, so we'll have to wait and see if Ortega's ready for that, high volume type of fighter. But and then yeah, Zabit can fight Max, and I think that would be a good fight. I mean, a fight between Zabit and Max Holloway would definitely be something that I would definitely want to see. So yeah, that's certainly uh, something that can work too. I actually don't have the rankings in front of me, so I'm not really sure where Zabit is on the rankings, but it's honestly up to Max. I mean, if I were Max, considering Dana White, the boss, is saying, "Hey, how can you not consider Max for a title shot?" Because believe it or not, I think the money amount that they're gonna get is like double the amount, because it's just for the belt. So, I mean, I think Max would actually wait to get the title shot for the belt, but if not, if he's up to make a fight, and I don't know where Zabit is again, but I mean, yeah, that's definitely a fight to make. Definitely something I'd like to see because I know Zabit is tough and he always brings it. So, yeah, but yeah, as for the featherweight division right now, next thing is Ortega against Volkanovski, and um, that one can be a war. I mean, I don't know how that one's not gonna be a war. That one's gonna be just as good as Poirier and McGregor. So yeah, guys, Ortega and Volkanovski is gonna be a war again. I don't know when that is. I'm gonna do a whole entire video as to when the schedule of that thing is, and I'll give my thoughts and opinions on how I think that fight is gonna go down. But yeah, that's gonna be a war. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I mean, again, hats off to Calvin Cater, for showing up. Max Holloway is one great of an opponent. So, um, yeah, we'll have to see what's next for Max. It's up to his decision. I'm sure he has advisors on the side. Friends. Whatever it is, his coaches, his team entirely. So we'll have to wait and see what happens next regarding that, and then regarding Carlos Condit. He's got two fights in a row, so two-fight win streak. Let's see if he can get a third one next. Didn't really look like he took a lot of damage in that fight against Matt Brown, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see for that too. But as for Matt Brown, I think he's one of the gentlemen that I think that should retire and move on. I think UFC can give him a future as another position with the company. So, I think Matt Brown still has a good future with the companies, but I don't believe that he should continue fighting. But hey, Matt Brown's a legend, man. For those of you guys that have been watching UFC for a while, know that Matt Brown, man, uh, can't hate the guy. So, um, let me know what you guys think as to how the fights went down. Let me know what you guys think in terms of who you guys thought was gonna win, and if the result met your expectations. And go ahead and subscribe, guys. Like the video. Drop those comments and be safe out there. 2021, is it's all right so far. We haven't had any major news besides the U.S. stuff, the USA things that are going on. But that's another discussion. So, with all that being said, guys, have a safe one, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.